Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Health Bridge podcast. I am your host, Holly B. This is the first episode I'm releasing in January of 2025, and it was important to me to come on and just talk to you one on one without any guests and really just talk to you about my vision for this year because it's a vision that I want you to embrace as well, especially if you are a lupus warrior. But this can also totally apply to women in other autoimmune categories or just really women in general, because I think this is something that we struggle with a lot and something that gets ingrained into our psyche without us even realizing it. And so, what am I talking about? I decided to make the theme of 2025, I am enough. That is the theme of the year. That is the mantra of the year. That is what I am going to be focusing on this year, both for myself, but also for my clients, because I think that there's so much, again, underlying subtleties that we just aren't even aware of that hold us back and keep us ill and create the illness in the first place. This underlying low level negative energy that ends up basically being one of the root causes of lupus and other autoimmune diseases. And that's really a lack of self-worth, a lack of feeling like we are enough as we are, right? Like on that root level. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. And I want to explain to you how I see this coming up for something that lupus warriors struggle with, something that women struggle with, and really talk about the benefits for you in adopting this mantra. I love choosing a word of the year. I've done that in years past. Curiosity was a big one for me. Growth was a big one for me. But this year, it's all about I am enough. To frame this for what I see with a lot of lupus warriors that are struggling with these are the things where I see it showing up the most, I should say. So the first one is putting others first. As women, as lupus warriors, we have a really strong tendency to prioritize others over ourselves and our own needs, right? We put everybody else first: family, friends, kids, dogs, errands, work, all the other things. We have a tendency to prioritize doing all those things before we try to find time or try to make time to take care of our own selves, our own needs. The problem is that we feel like we are letting others down and ourselves down when we can't say yes to all the things that are asked of us or expected of us, or the things that we think are expected of us, even if that's not the true reality of the matter. We end up feeling guilty. We feel inadequate from these things. When you find yourself in that position, a few things to put out there that can maybe help you reframe or find workarounds for getting yourself into this situation. These are all things that I am still getting better at implementing for myself. Things like, can I ask for help here? Does this need to be done by me, or can somebody else do it just as well? Do you also need to be more verbal with the people around you about your limitations, your mental and physical struggles, where you actually are in your life, so that other people can respect that and maybe back off a little bit? Because a lot of times, just because we are feeling like crap doesn't mean we look like crap. And if we're not verbalizing that we're struggling and really explaining what's going on with us, then it's easy for people to not respect it, right? And to just continually expect things of you. Where can you be more verbal? Also, what extra tasks that you are doing are actually unnecessary This is a huge one for me. I still really struggle with that because, well, perfectionism, but also what can you delegate? Where can you ask for help? What systems can you put into place to streamline just your daily life, whether that's home life, work life, whatever it is? But how can you implement different things or take things out to just reduce your daily stress load? Again, putting others first, putting yourself last, that is one of the first huge struggles I see with women with lupus. Also, the pain of falling short. Lupus warriors feel like failures when they can't perform in life to the level that they were used to doing, that they once have performed at. And I certainly have felt this myself. And I want you to understand that these feelings are normal, but they stem from societal and family pressures as well as self imposed um, standards, self imposed expectations based on societal and family things, right? That we're all subjected to. Sometimes we can get away with like downgrading our performance, so to speak, to like a B movie performance. Sometimes we can't. And this can be a huge hit to our ego, to our personal expectations, and possibly our paycheck if your symptoms are affecting your ability to actually work and perform the duties that you need to do to get that paycheck. Also, your home life can suffer if your family or if your partner or if your roommates don't adjust well to your new limitations. That can really create a lot of struggle and it's painful, right? We internalize that because it feels like we are completely falling short of what we should, in quotes, be able to do, be able to handle, be able to pull off on a daily basis. The third big thing is that there is a lot of heartache around having to possibly put your dreams on hold. Lupus warriors, at least the ones that I interact with and have met online and in person, we have big hearts. We have dreams, we have goals, we have life visions and expectations. And unfortunately, when you are struggling with lupus, there can be a huge clash there of physical limitations, and those physical limitations can often disrupt those dreams and goals and visions. That takes a huge emotional toll on you. I know, trust me. I feel it too. When your body says no, gives you a hard no, and puts up a wall against everything that you've been working towards or have expected your future to look like, it's not easy to adjust your dreams and your goals, especially when it's not your choice to do so, when it wasn't your choice to reroute, but it was your body telling you that you had to. So, all of these three challenges that I just laid out for you, they leave you feeling like you are lacking, like you are inadequate, like you are not enough. And again, I know this from personal experience. I also know this from the experiences I've heard from my clients and from the many women that I've encountered and chatted with online and just in the autoimmune and lupus communities over the years. For myself, it's been a huge struggle because I am this multi-passionate person. I'm an artist, I'm an herbalist, I am involved in the holistic health community, I am involved in different creative endeavors, and I still have to work a regular job on doing all these things and building my vision. And it has gone so much slower than I would like. But the fact is that I've had to um, embrace is that it's simply the way it is. And this is the path for me. The path in my head is a lot faster than the path my body can go along with. And I've had to really do a lot of personal work around being okay with that. And so taking on this mantra of I am enough is a part of that because this is an ongoing retraining of my thought patterns, of the way I interact with myself and others, with the thoughts that I use to think about and talk about my current situation on any given day. This is part of that retraining, right? To just get into total acceptance of where I am in life today. And that is what I want to, again, bring into your life this year. I'm not all about new year, new me type of New Year's resolutions. I'm into small things that can make big impact over time when practiced with consistency. And so that is where I'm starting this year off. And I really want to share it with all of you this year because usually I've kept it somewhat to myself in the past. But this is so big. This I am enough theme is so huge, so big, so important that it almost brings tears to my eyes because I didn't expect to get emotional over this, but this is so important because I think in so many of us, so many women, but especially in so many lupus warriors and so many women that are struggling with autoimmune, this is really a deep rooted belief, the belief that we aren't enough, that we don't know enough, that we haven't done enough, that we aren't smart enough, aren't good enough, aren't pretty enough, aren't talented enough. Whatever it is for you, I'm sure it's multiple layers deep. I'm not capable enough, right? I'm not lovable enough. It could be anything. These roots go so deep and it's those deep roots that lay foundation for us to end up in these autoimmune conditions in the first place. Yes, I know there's a lot of other things involved, but the energy of that belief really adds to it. Let's start out 2025 by changing that narrative one day at a time, one thought at a time, one mantra at a time. And let's dive into that. So, what does this look like? We're talking about redefining self worth. We are talking about shifting the perspective of self worth from being attained through external achievements and instead being achieved by intrinsic or internal value. You have this intrinsic internal value of being enough already. Now it's just learning to access that and learning to accept that. Accept that you are enough. Accept that you are worthy just because you're you, just because you're here on this earth. So I want you to think about that. Even when you have to say no to a person, to a place, to an event, to a work function, you aren't making a negative statement about your self-worth. Saying no is not a negative statement about your self-worth. While the expectant party might feel let down, or maybe even you feel let down, when you start embracing the I am enough mantra, you say no with the understanding that you are still whole, you are still worthy, you are still enough, even when you can't do something, even when you have to step back. It is not defining you as somebody that is lacking anything. It is simply the opposite. It is defining you as somebody whole and worthy enough to say no to something, to be able to stand up for your own needs and say no. I also want you to understand that we can transform that word no into an act of self love, right? So instead of taking on the belief that saying no means that you are less than, that you are worthy of judgment, or that you are some kind of flawed human, using the I am enough mantra when you can't show up in life the way that you want to, it gives you strength and knowing that it's okay to be protective of your mental and physical energy, that you are worthy of taking the time out that you need to manage a flare or to prevent one from happening. So, setting boundaries and protecting your energy need to become your top priorities, okay, to prevent a flaring of symptoms. I know that you already know that innately, but that doesn't mean that you always act on it. I know that I push myself sometimes and I ignore the signs that I should be saying no and holding back because I'm bullheaded or because I just I want to do the thing, or because somebody's really pushing me, or because I need the money so I pick up more shifts. But going into 2025 with the I am enough mantra helps you remember the importance of setting those boundaries to protect your energy, because when we overdo it, when we overstress ourselves, that is one of the biggest triggers to a flare up. Now, this is another thing that I've personally struggled with quite a bit, really only realized truly in the last year. I would say about a year ago is when I started realizing that I have issues with perfectionism. I never recognized it as that until, like I said, recently. And now that my eyes have been open to it, I see that this is an incredibly common theme with lupus warriors and other women with autoimmune conditions. Also with anxiety and depression as well, especially anxiety, though. Think of perfectionism as a bad seed. And when you plant it in your garden, it completely takes over and infects the whole garden bed, chokes everything else out that was growing. So I need you to understand, I'm talking to myself too, but I need you to understand that perfectionism is unachievable. And not only is it unachievable, but it literally breeds feelings of lack, unworthiness, and not enoughness, right? Because if we're constantly trying to pursue perfection, which is literally impossible, it plants those seeds of feeling like you're not enough. And then you're constantly questioning yourself and you're on that loop of why can't I? Why didn't I? Why can't I just do this one thing perfect? Why can't I do it all? Why can't I have a home like Martha Stewart's? Why can't my children be dressed in perfectly clean clothes all the time? Why can't I just get all the housework done? Why am I not further along at work? It just goes on and it never ends. It's in an infinite loop. So I want 2025 to be the year that we take a breath, give a long exhale, and let's release this need to show up perfectly. And let's release the need to perform at our past levels. So if you are struggling with lupus or another health challenge and you were used to showing up at a certain level and you still expect yourself to show up at that same level despite having new health challenges in your way, you have to release that because it's unachievable right now for you. Okay. It's time to release the idea of how you expected your dreams to go. Remember, I was talking about those grand dreams and visions and hopes for your future, it doesn't need to mean that you have to let go of all of your goals and all of your dreams. What I'm actually asking you to do instead is to still hold that vision in your mind's eye, in your heart. But it's time to release the need to control how you get there and to control that outcome and let it go to the universe, right? Let the universe look out for you, or let go and let God, as they say as well. Paths may be opened for you that you didn't expect. Doors may open that you did not foresee because you were holding too tightly to that perfect view of how you were going to get from A to B and achieve that vision, right? So I want you to take a breath, release it, and release the control over how you expect to move through life and achieve your dreams, especially right now as you are struggling with this health challenge. The I am enough mantra reinforces the idea that your worthiness is not tied to your productivity or to perfection. Worthiness is your birthright, whether you are at a super high functioning level at the epitome of health, or whether you are going through chemotherapy and infusions and feel like you are just crumpled up on the couch. You are worthy regardless of where you are in your life right now. That is your birthright. Hey, I just wanted to jump in here and interrupt the program for just a hot minute. You know that I'm so passionate about this podcast, but what I'm also really passionate about is helping women with lupus minimize their symptoms, boost their energy so that they can indulge in life again. So if you are a woman who is struggling with lupus, who is sick and tired of being sick and tired, who's struggling to manage your flares, if you're finding that your lupus symptoms are just really getting in the way of you being able to live your life the way you want to, I feel you. I've been there myself and I felt the same way. And what I've found is that there are a certain set of health fundamentals that, once applied, will support you in your foundational health. They will support you in building and maintaining that energy, minimizing flares, and allowing you to, again, indulge in life and follow your passions. So if that is something that you are interested in creating for yourself, let's jump on a call together. I will walk you through the process that I use with my clients to get them from sick and tired to strong foundation of health by implementing my Health Bridge protocol. If this is something you're interested in chatting more about, I would love to talk to you. Apply for a free clarity call with me, and I look forward to getting to know you soon. And now back to the episode. I also want to talk to you about embracing the lessons of lupus. So listening to your body is one of the biggest lessons you can take away from dealing with managing this disease that affects everybody differently. You are so worthy that your body is crying out for love, care, and respect. Okay, this is a big mindset shift because it feels like, and you've been told that your body is attacking you. You feel like your body hates you. You feel like everything has been taken from you when you got this disease. But I want you to slowly try to reframe this into, you have lupus. Lupus showed up in your life because you are so worthy of love, care, and respect. And it's asking you to dive in deeper to that. Okay. Your body's asking you to love and respect it on a deeper and deeper level. Start tuning into your body's innate wisdom and your own intuition by asking your body daily, what do you need from me today? And I want you to trust the first thought that comes into your head, and I want you to act on it. Doing this practice every day will help you develop your intuition as well as regulate your nervous system. Because when you communicate with yourself like this, when you listen to yourself on that deeper level, you are teaching your nervous system that it is safe, that it is heard, and that it can trust you. And when we can calm down our nervous system, your body can release some of that tension, release some of that inflammation, release the hold and the grip that it has on stress in your body. And things can start to calm down and shift for you in your health experience. I also believe that the term lupus warrior really means love warrior. I think I'm going to print that on a t-shirt. I haven't decided yet. Maybe some notebooks. I don't know. But I believe that lupus showed up to teach you of your value and to promote a deeper sense of self-acceptance and an unconditional feeling of worthiness. Take lupus as your teacher. So I also want to talk about the term lupus warrior. We are all lupus warriors, right? We connect with that title. I use it all the time because it helps me find others in this community that I can connect with and share with. But I believe that lupus warrior really means love warrior. Not only because I believe that lupus came here to, again, teach you your value and promote a deeper sense of self-acceptance and create an unconditional feeling of worthiness for you, prove to you your worth. But I also believe that we shouldn't go into this feeling like we are a soldier ready for battle. I've been told by my doctors that my body is at war with itself, right? That it's attacking me. And I don't like embodying that energy. When we use the term love warrior, it means it's coming from my heart space and radiating outward. It's teaching me to build this heart energy and to share it with others as well. And so that's really why I prefer the term love warrior. I want you to consider, along with the I am enough mantra, that perhaps you also take on the term love warrior and see how that might shift your thoughts about your experience as you move forward day to day. Lastly, I really just want you to understand that your innate worthiness is a gift, independent of external circumstances. I just want to hammer this home. We live in a society that is just so full of distraction that it can easily obscure this truth from you. And I want to begin 2025 with this journey back to yourself. The I am enough mantra is designed to bring you back to yourself, your true God-given innate worthiness, your true beauty underneath it all, underneath the funk of lupus, underneath the challenges of your day-to-day life, like underneath all of that, you have a God-given nature of worthiness. Let's embrace that this year. So, how do we start? It sounds all good. Like, I'm going to start this new mantra. I'm going to have a theme. What happens in 3 days when I start to forget, right? And I start going about my day-to-day business and I forget all about this whole I am enough thing. A few tips and strategies to get this into your daily routine. Things are all about consistency, right? Things don't work unless you're consistent with them. So we start with just the daily affirmation. I want you to repeat, I am enough daily. anytime you think about it, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're driving to work and somebody cuts you off and you start cursing, just bring it back to the mantra, I am enough. Even if it doesn't seem related to whatever situation is at hand, I am enough. But especially when you're facing a challenging day, a challenging decision, if you're in the middle of a flare, I just want you to repeat it to yourself out loud if possible and take some deep breaths. Okay. I want you to breathe deep, breathe it in, inhale that mantra, I am enough. Long exhale. I do recommend, if you are in a safe place to do so, that perhaps doing some box breath, like 4 rounds of box breath, can be very helpful. Box breath is when you basically breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and hold the exhale for a count of 4 and repeat. So in 4, hold 4, out 4, hold 4. And do that 4 times. It's clinically proven that this helps to calm the nervous system, regulate your energy, reduce anxiety. For a higher stress situation, I also really enjoy straw breath. It helps you, like if you get really stressed and your heartbeat goes up, you take a deep breath and you purse your lips like you are sipping through a straw. And you just breathe out through pursed lips. It makes you give a really slow, long exhale. And it's really excellent if you are being triggered by something, if you are scared or stressed, if you're in the middle of a panic attack, it can really help. So I recommend 3 to 6 rounds of straw breath. Just a normal breath in, purse your lips, and slowly blow out. And just do that as many times as needed, right? And keep coming back to I am enough while you're doing this. Journaling is also a great way of getting this into your routine. It doesn't need to be like a long journaling session. You can literally just do this for like 2 to 5 minutes. I prefer pen to paper, but you can also do it on your note app on your phone. Any time that you can devote to this, the better. But preferably have it stack it with, like, if you're a tea drinker in the morning, do it while you're drinking tea, or maybe after you meditate or do yoga, or at night before you go to bed. Just something that you can associate with the practice of journaling to help you remember to do it. But I want you to answer the question, what does being enough mean to me? And this is something you can do every single day. You can answer this question every single day, and you'll be surprised that your answer may shift from day to day, right? So what does being enough mean to me? And how can I honor my body today? Or how can I honor myself today? You can also tie it in with a gratitude journaling prompt, such as 3 things you are grateful for and 3 things you respect about yourself. Play around with it, but those are some really, really simple ways to get into a good mindset for realizing your self-worth, realizing that you are enough, and just something as simple as 5 minutes a day doing these specific journaling prompts can make a huge impact with consistency. And then also finding a supportive community. I've found so many on Instagram, there's Facebook groups. Being able to connect with others that are also building a like-minded mindset of worthiness, of enoughness, is really important. Even if it's just one friend that you can share this practice with so that you can encourage each other to stick with it, that is really beneficial in this journey of 2025. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already. I am Holly Beck, IAMHOLLYBECK. Find me on Instagram. I'm going to be doing a lot of posting this year on the I Am Enough mantra and theme. I am also starting a Telegram community. So if you have the app Telegram, you can follow along there at Health Bridge Coaching. You can DM me on Instagram and I'll send you a link to find that so you can get in with that community there. It'll be building this year. I'm just starting it. So I'm hoping to see it grow quite a bit. And it'll be a great place where we can all support each other and leave all kinds of positivity just smeared all over that feed. Okay. So I'd love for you to join me there. And also, I would love it if you would post about this. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, share your journey with I Am Enough. Share your struggles, share how you are getting this mindset into your daily action steps, your daily self-care. And I want you to tag, I created a tag for this. So I want you to tag hashtag I Am Enough, purple heart, the emoji purple heart 2025. So that's hashtag I Am Enough, all one word, purple heart emoji 2025. Let's grow this hashtag and start a freaking movement. All right. I want to start a movement. So join me along there. And again, I'm taking on this theme specifically for myself, specifically for lupus warriors or love warriors. But again, it totally applies to women in all autoimmune conditions and really just any life struggle at all. So to recap everything that we just talked about, you are enough exactly as you are, and your journey is a testament to your strength and your worth. I'm going to repeat that one more time. You are enough exactly as you are, and your journey is a testament to your strength and worth. Speaking of your worth, I want to invite you to a free health strategy call with me to start out 2025. Let's explore this issue of I Am Enough. Let's explore how you can take small, consistent steps to shift your experience with lupus, both within your mindset around it and also with your daily self-care practices that can support your fundamental health and get you to where you have more energy again, where you have less flares. Let's set you on a path to better health by the end of 2025. We can make some very easy lifestyle changes that can have a great impact on your experience with lupus, on your experience with your worthiness. Thank you so much for listening in. Message me on Instagram or click the links below in the show notes to apply for this free call. Let's start 2025 out right. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you soon on the next episode of the Health Bridge podcast.